Hi everyone, I've put together this video to give you a hand on the work that we're doing, and hopefully it should give you a support no matter what stage you're at in this particular piece of work. Before we go any further, I need to just make sure that you are completely happy with the key knowledge that I want you to know. The key knowledge is that first of all, when we have a circle, the area of the circle is pi times the radius squared, and the circumference, the perimeter of the circle, is pi times the diameter. Now, what we're looking at is the area or the arc length or something to do with the sector. That's what we're looking at. And when we say a sector, it's a slice out of a cake. That's what we're talking about. This is the shape here. And whenever we're doing questions involving sectors, what we're asking ourselves is, what fraction of the circle do I have? I've got part of a circle here. How can I measure the fraction I've got? And there are three main ways how to do it. The number one main way that we've been looking at is by looking at the angle. So the fraction we've got is A out of 360. The whole amount would be 360, and the amount that we've got is A. So it's A out of 360. That's what we've got. That's the whole amount. But in the same way, we could also describe the fraction by looking at the arc length. This is what we've got here, and this is the whole amount. Just like that was what we've got, and this is the whole amount when we looked at angles. This is what we've got here, and the whole amount is the circumference. So we could write the fraction as the arc which we've got divided by the whole circumference. Once again, we could look at the area. The area that we've got divided by the whole area. So each time, the whole number of degrees, the whole circumference, the whole area. The area we've got, the part of the circumference we've got, the angle we've got. Whichever way you do it, it's going to give you the same answer. So whatever that fraction is, it will change from question to question, but this answer and this answer and this answer will always be the same. So if we know what this one is, we know that these two will be the same. If we knew what this one was, we knew that these would be the same. And that's how we use it to work out the answers. So for example, let's imagine I gave you a circle here. I didn't tell you what the angle was, but I tell you that the whole area of the shape is 314. And I tell you that the area of this bit is 31.4. So, using this bit here, what fraction of the area do we have? Well, we've got 31.4 out of 314. And hopefully you can see that that's 0.1. So basically what we're saying is that this is a tenth of the circle, or 0.1 of the circle, or 10% of the circle. So this is 10% of 360. This is 10% of the whole area, and if we needed to, this would be 10% of the whole circumference. So to find out what x would be, we simply take that fraction here and we multiply it by 360, because like I said, this fraction and this fraction and this fraction are always the same. So comparing the areas to make a fraction gave me 0.1, and it's going to be the same fraction of 360, so it's 0.1 times 360, 36 degrees. Okay, let's look at some questions. Let's imagine I've got a circle here. First of all, let's find out the area of the whole circle. Pi r squared, pi times 6 squared, 113.112 square centimeters. And while we're at it, let's look at the circumference. So circumference will be pi times diameter. The diameter will be 12. So it's pi times 12, 37.704. Now, let's imagine from that whole circle I gave you a slice and I told you that was 100 degrees. So this is a 100-degree slice out of this circle. So what have we got? Well, this tells me I've got part of a circle and I've been given an angle. So I'm going to compare that with the whole amount. And the whole amount is 360. So the fraction that I've been given is 100 out of 360. Now, that is my fraction of 360, but it also means that this is 0.277 of the whole area, and it's also the fraction that this is of the whole circumference. So if someone said to me, what is the area of the sector? Well, what do I need to know? I need to know what the area of the whole circle is, that's pi r squared, and the fraction that I've got. I know what fraction I've got is 100 out of 360. So there's that same fraction as before, times the whole area. So this is the fraction out of 360, but it's also the same fraction of the area. That's the fraction, that's the whole area. In the same way, for the arc length, it's going to be that fraction of the circumference. So I want you to see that the fraction here is the same. This is the fraction that 100 is out of 360, and it's also the fraction of the whole area, and it's also the fraction of the whole circumference. It's always the same. Okay, let's imagine I gave you a shape like that, and I said to you, let's work out what the value of x is. Well, we haven't got an angle, so we need to work out what fraction we've got. Remember what we're saying to ourselves each time. What is the fraction I've got? Well, what have I been given? I've been given part of the circumference. I've been told that this arc length is 10. So I need to work out what the whole circumference is. So let's work that out. Whole circumference is going to be pi times d. The diameter will be 14. And so that's going to be 43.98. So the whole circumference would be 43.98. And I've been given this amount. So what's my fraction? Well, it's simply 10 out of 43.98. That's the whole circumference. That's the bit I've been given. And here is my fraction. And I can now use that to work out the angle and the area. If I want to work out the angle, it's going to be that fraction of 360. If I want to work out the area is going to be that fraction of pi r squared, 35 square centimeters. So I work out a fraction, and it's the same fraction of 360, and it's the same fraction of the area. So let's imagine we had this question. Well, this time we've been given what the area is. We don't know what the angle is. We don't know what the arc length is. We're going to calculate those, but we have been given the area. So once again, the question we must always ask ourselves is, what fraction of the circle have I been given? Now, they've given us the area, and that means we need to compare it with the whole area. So the whole area would be pi r squared. Pi times 11 squared is 380. So what we've been given is just under half. Half of the area is taken up by this shape here. But the fraction is going to be 164.72. That's the bit we were given out of the whole amount, which we've calculated to be 380.13. So this is the fraction of the area we've got. But also, this is the fraction of 360 that we've got. And it's also the fraction of the circumference that we've got. It's always the same fraction. So the angle will be that fraction that we've just worked out of 360. And the arc length, if someone asked us about it, would be that fraction of the whole circumference, which is 29.95. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. If you watched the whole video and you still need a hand on something, let me know, but be specific and tell me what part of it you aren't sure about. Okay, folks, thank you. Cheers. Bye.